Dr. Toby Potter here. All right, it is
Okay.
July 16th. This is the Unshakable Mastermind where you guys come in, bring me deals. We're going to review them, analyze them, and critique, guide, direct, mentor, coach, all the above.
The deal we reviewed last week, we did go under contract on the two-story brick on Creekmere Drive.
Okay,
Um, I was
congratulations.
I was able to get it at a pretty good price. My thing is, right now I have an investor a wholesaler with an investor willing to buy it at a decent offer, but the wholesaler wants to make about a 10 grand wholesaling fee off of me.
Off of
Uh,
you?
off of me. So I'm still getting it at a pretty good price. It's about 5,000 less than what we discussed last week, but it's still a pretty good offer.
So I guess, so then what's your question? So I'm up to speed. What's your question?
Any word of advice? So he asked me to make a decision by 5 o'clock or his buyer would walk. And I feel like he's just putting pressure on me, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily want to lose my first sale on a wish-washy decision. And I'm more than happy to share numbers as far as what we're at, if that's okay. But
Well, here's my number one question. Let me just, are you comfortable with this transaction playing out the way it is? Are you comfortable with what you're going to make, or are you going to be disappointed 30, 60 days from now?
I think I'd be comfortable with it, just getting the first one done, getting all the butterflies out of the stomach
Yep.
and moving
Yep.
on.
Then that's your answer. Because I can't tell you how much to make on a deal. I can advise you what you should make. And I will tell you this just for everybody's intents and purposes, as a hard money lender, we hate when we got double stacked wholesalers. Hate it. Hate it. You would just couldn't imagine how many deals we got come across where there's two wholesalers eating up a big chunk of the investor's profit. But that's okay if it's still a win-win, you're comfortable, and the numbers work, then run with it. I mean, run with it. A bird in the hand is 10 times better than two in a tree. Okay.
Okay.
So, but that's a decision you have to make. I can't, because I don't want to say, oh, heck no, hold out, hold him to
Yeah.
hold his feet to the fire, and then you lose the whole deal, and now you're stuck and you can't move forward. That would be a bad advice. The only
Sure.
advice I would have is if you're like, no, I mean, I think this property is sweet. I think I can make my full commission, and I don't want to share it with somebody else. So I'm gonna hold on to. I'd rather hold on to it. That's kind of the balance you have to determine for you.
Yeah. I guess the main thing is that I'm kind of struggling with this is I didn't realize that the sales aspect of selling a wholesale deal is almost as hard, if not harder, than the buying and securing the property under contract. Because I mean, I've walked the property 3 times now with different people, and I've gotten lowball offers for. I got one for 375, and this guy's offer is 420 and closing within 7 days. So
And then that feels like a win. It feels like a
yeah,
win.
I
Um,
don't know if he's bluffing though with saying, "Hey, I got a 5 o'clock deadline," or what the typical strategy on that kind of
yeah.
stuff is.
Now, in my opinion, that's BS. Um, and you could come back and say, yeah, and I've got five other offers I got to review, which you're not lying. They may be low ball offers, but you still got five other offers.
Yeah.
Here's what I will tell you. Um, if he bullies you now, he'll bully you always. In fact, just be cognitive of the relationship you're establishing with this guy. Because you want to be the guy that the investors come to you, not through another wholesaler.
Right.
So it's a slippery slope, and so I don't want again, a bird in the hand is always better than two in a tree. So if you can be comfortable with your commission closing in 2 weeks, dude, you just turned your deal, and so now you've got momentum. And if you two things are going to happen. One is you're going to make some money, but you're also now getting exposed. And so this means that now more and more people are going to be looking for you. But this is why it's so important to build that buyer's list so that you don't have to be bullied into anything. And
Yeah.
like Angie just said, best case is the deal falls out. You've lost nothing and you can still move forward. If they
Yeah.
don't perform, you've lost nothing.
Sure. And we are putting a $5,000 non-refundable deposit on it.
You're done. Yeah. You just made $5,000 no matter what.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think that helps with that one. I guess
Okay.
we're onto the property now, huh?
On to the next one. So the next one we got is 8317 America's Cup. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. All right. So tell me about the property. Tell me what you got with it?
So it's a property going into foreclosure. It's set to foreclose the first week of August. And the seller, I've talked to him on numerous occasions. This is where I found out follow up is extremely important on these deals, because originally this guy told me, "Hey, I've seen houses selling for 350 in this area. I'm looking to get about 350 for the house." Well, when I walked it, he had a water heater bust about 3, 4 years ago, and he never replaced any of the flooring. He just tore it out, so it's concrete floors in his house, and he did very minimal work. And then he said he did about $20,000 worth of foundation work, and he used the insurance money for that stuff, but didn't fix any of the cracks in the walls or anything like that. So he just did the foundation stuff and moved on. So there's a ton of cracking in the walls. There's no flooring. It's concrete floors in there, and it's very outdated.
Mm,
Uh, I'm set. I've already walked the property. I do got a file of probably 70 photos of it.
okay.
Um, but I'm walking it again with an actual contractor to get a scope of work to try to get him down further. Because originally, like I said, he was at wanting 300 to.
Yeah, he wants 300. You walked it. Um, here's my number one
Well,
question. So you got a contractor. Go
so
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I gave it time. I walked away. I gave him I said max, and this is probably more than I should have offered for it. Um, was 215 for it. And I said, that's the absolute max I would ever pay for this property in this condition. He came down about less than a week later. He said, yeah, I think I'd be willing to go for 230. So he's already coming down. So tomorrow I'm having a contractor walk it with me to create a full scope of work. And I'm going to just sit down with him and explain all the numbers to him. He wants out of it. I think he said he owes about 114 on the house. He wants out of it, and he wants to move out to the country and work on building a barn dominium or something like that. So he's focused on selling it and getting rid of it. He doesn't want to deal with the hassle. So that's why I thought I'd run this by you and to see what you think the absolute max would be on it.
So first question is you have no idea what the scope of work is going to run, correct?
My personal opinion was about 50 to 60,000, and I
Did you
did
run
run
it
it through
through
the
my
AI
digital
tool, and
mind?
it came up with that. That's how I came to that, and then I estimated about $25 a square foot on the house, which I think it came around there.
Okay. So 60 to 70,000,
Yeah.
and that's loading all those photos into the digital mind.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Um, but it's still pretty thin. So you're going to be in it 285, right?
Yes.
285 is purchase plus rehab. I'm going top end on there. So 285 on a 350 ARV. You got 9 months on this deal. 9 months is the quickest turnaround time. Are you just going to wholesale it?
Yeah, I'm thinking of wholesaling it just to, like I said, I'm building capital to get started before I start doing any flips. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll most likely be a wholesale, which is another avenue I thought of is
Yeah.
because New Western and all these companies do offer a much higher price than anyone else usually can. So I thought
Right.
about if that 215 number was too high and I can't come up any or I need to be lower, I thought about making him an offer of doing an and/or signed contract and just wholesaling it for him with a set assignment fee.
Yeah. What's our max at 350?
person math.
Mm-hmm.
60 grand plus 215
Mm-hmm.
divided by 0.7.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have, is it worth 390, 395?
So, but if we do the back of the napkin, 350 times 70 minus 70
70?
on the rehab.
Foreclosure is the
You're at
first week of August,
185.
Andy.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm telling you, our numbers are 175.
It's pretty low. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I because now it might. So here's the variable. It might go for more than 350, but that's what we're always going to run with because right now interest rates are not coming down. You're going into October, so that means kids are going back into school. It means that people aren't going to be buying houses as much because now they've already got their kids planted. Bus routes are set up, all that. So now your buying time is going to extend. And you've got, based upon what you're telling me, we're probably 9 months turnaround time. So you got carrying cost, you got, and I know you're only wholesale, so I'm looking at it as a flipper.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a flipper. If you're at 215, your purchase, you add 10, now I'm at 225 plus 70, I'm at 295 on a 50, that gives me 60,000 spread. You take 6% of the 350. So what's 6% of 350 is 22, 21, 21,000 just for listing fees plus title fees. Dude, you're too high.
Yeah. And that's why my approach, because I knew he was. I mean, I've already gotten him to break down in his head to take it $100,000 less than what he originally wanted. So my
Yeah.
thought was to walk this with a contractor, get a printed out scope of work, and just break down the
Mm-hmm.
numbers for him and say, look, unfortunately,
Yeah.
this deal is too inflated for me. But the only thing I can really offer is I'm willing to do like a $5,000 assignment fee to help you find an investor and navigate through this with you, rather than
But
just, you know.
yeah, but the problem that you got is it's up for auction in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's your
Um,
biggest fight.
I mean, so I have another friend in the area, and he says it's not hard to stop a foreclosure if
Oh,
you
it's
have,
not.
yeah,
Yeah. It's not hard to stop them. In fact, you could submit a contract to the
exactly.
bank and,
So I
and
have
stop it. Yeah.
exactly. So I have the assignment contract with maybe even just a $5,000 assignment fee, just something quick, easy to turn, and then submit the
That will,
contract with the bank, stop the foreclosure, and try to flip it for them.
yeah, the assignment contract probably won't stop it because that doesn't guarantee the bank getting paid off anytime soon. Where a purchase contract does, because they're thinking, oh, well, shoot, I don't want to expense all this, take the property back, do the eviction, all that. So if I can close in 30, 45 days with this new buyer, I'm money ahead. But
Yeah.
an assignment contract only says they're moving it from him to you and no guarantee of anything different happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it's just. I mean, I guess they probably would see that. It's right
Hmm.
in the seller's name.
Yeah,
So
right, right. Yeah. So that's what you've got to eliminate in stopping the TRO. There's only two to stop the foreclosures, one of two ways. A TRO, which is going to cost the seller some money to have it filed. $2,000 to $3,000. And our attorney that you met here, John Helsowski, that's what he does. He's one of the best. When he was at our live event, he can do that. I think it's like $2,300 to file it and all that, or a true purchase contract with a proof of funds letter that gives you that time to then go try to sell it
right,
while they're going forward. And so that's really the only way you're going to get the bank to hold off because they're going to say, well, so Ryan's taken over, but that doesn't mean Ryan can do anything different than that the homeowner's done. So what's going to ensure that I get my money? I might as well just go forward. We've given this guy all the latitude in the world, and he hasn't made any payments. We're behind X amount of dollars, and all I'm doing now is prolonging the inevitable.
yeah,
So you just got to make them believe that they're getting their money sooner than later.
yeah, yep.
That's how I would go about that. Okay.
Okay, so 175 would be top top
Top
on
offer.
this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
because then you could add 10, put it at 185, and then it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right.
Oh, is it Fred?
That's
Fred,
great.
hey, buddy. How
Yes,
are you?
sir.
All right.
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. All right. So let's talk about 17531 Baker Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you know about it.
All right. Let's get into this. You mentioned in the last webinar, you don't like working with wholesalers. Is that correct?
As a lender, as a direct hard money lender, we have concerns about that because they eat up the profitability. But what we teach here is all about wholesaling. To get into real estate investing, wholesaling is the gateway to making a ton of money right off the bat.
And I understand that. Okay. The reason I asked that is because the three properties that I showed you, I asked, was this person a realtor or a wholesaler? He said he was a wholesaler. I said, okay. I got the list. I mean, I got an extensive list from him. I keep getting more and more properties, but I know nothing about these properties except for doing a little bit of homework on Zillow and stuff like that.
Okay.
And my thinking is that I only would pick something, and I look at Zillow just as a reference point because you don't know the actual property value unless you go, you get an appraisal, whatever.
Yeah.
My thinking is this: these three properties, these couple properties I had enough meat on the bones to be able to make some money. Okay. Now I haven't walked them. I just got the properties the other day when I sent them to you. There was a list of 20. I sent 3. I looked at Zillow. I looked at what he had on there as far as the purchase price and everything else. You can make some money. But now I'm asking
Explain
you,
that to me. So
what's that?
explain that to me that you'll make some money. So give me some raw numbers.
I'm looking at 50,000 or more.
How?
Well, if you buy the property at, let's just take this one on Baker Street, okay,
Okay.
in Country Club Hills, okay, and already the price is 172, okay. And again, I haven't walked the property. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm just looking at the paperwork right now, okay. And when he says the price is 172, after repaired value is 315. Well, that's kind of stretching it because Zillow shows 266. Now, again, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth more, less, right in that ballpark. Okay. So what is meant by um, cosmetic repairs? Okay. Is it paint, carpet, whatever it looks like from the pictures that I've seen? It needs some touch up on the paint. The driveway needs a little bit of help. But overall, could you make 50, 55, maybe 75,000? It's a good possibility. I don't know. That's
But
why I'm on this call with you.
okay, so here's I love this, Fred. Holy cow. I could not have scripted this better if I had God Almighty working with me on this. This is a perfect coaching scenario. Okay. Because you do have the ability to answer every question that you don't have answered right now. Real simple. Okay. You take this property, you plug it into my digital mind, and it gives you the absolute numbers because there's a ton of photos that we pulled up. It'll tell
Right.
you the ARV, it'll tell you the scope of work, it'll tell you your max allowable offer. So you'll know in less than 2 minutes where you stand on this property. You will know exactly where your parameters are on what works, what doesn't, where your numbers need to be, and whether or not this deal works, or if if the wholesaler has eaten up all the equity.
I got it. And I haven't been able to get him on the phone.
Here's what I recommend. Before you do that, you need to have, so it's kind of like never ask a question without already knowing the answer. Okay. In real estate, you never want to go view a property until you already know your boundaries. So I would take this
Correct.
property because there's a plethora of photos in the system. I would take this
Right.
property, dump it into my digital mind, and tell me, say, I need the numbers. I'm getting ready to go walk the property. I need the numbers. I need the hardcore numbers. It'll give it to you in 2 minutes or less. Analyze this deal in depth. Pictures are attached here. Calculate the ARV. So he told it everything. It's running. And I said to do it like this. On this, it'll take it 2.5 minutes usually has been our average. I had one the other day that I demoed. It took right at 3 minutes.
But I did upload the zip with all 30.
And it's got 30 photos to review. And so
That takes
as we're talking about this is going to show you exactly where your boundaries are, Fred, so that when you go walk it, you'll be the most educated person in the room. Because I'll promise you, your wholesaler doesn't know squat. He picked it up, he ran some hypothetical numbers, like you said, and he's trying to make a move on it. So at 172, the deal is thin. Seller's 315 area is possible only with an aggressive ceiling. So conservative ARV 290, or is it 285 or 290?
Yeah, 285.
285, working 295.
Safe budget.
Yeah, budget 84,000 for rehab. So see, this gave you absolute numbers, Fred. And what did it take? Scroll back. How long did it take?
I think this one took like 7 minutes.
7 minutes and 30 seconds. So in 7 minutes and 30 seconds, Fred, you had absolute facts that you now can build a plan around. No guessing, no emotion, no hypotheticals, absolution.
I have those heavily dated red carpet.
Yeah. Have him give me a call because I need to walk through this program.
Yes, you do, buddy. Yes, you do. This will
Yes, sir.
change your life. This will
Oh, I'm
put
seeing
your
that.
hair on fire. I used to part your hair. Now I'm lighting it on fire.
I mean,
I'm sending you a text right now, Fred, with my calendar so you can schedule a time for us to get together.
That would be awesome.
All right. Good job, buddy. So I want you to do that on all three of these, Fred. Okay.
Yeah.
So number one gives you great practice. But number two, ladies and gentlemen, when you come to the masterminds, I want to hear these facts. I want to hear that you did the homework and you want guidance on if it's true or not, if you did it correctly, number one, because you don't know what you don't know. So you're practicing, but also evolving. So we'll review it, make sure you did it correctly, got the right numbers, and then as a group determine whether we move forward or we pass. So that's what we need to be looking at. Okay.
Absolutely.
So ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure you fully understand this is the digital mind. This is not the real estate AI OS the OS finds you deals. It goes through, it sorts them out by vacant, non-owner occupied, distressed, like this one is, distressed. But then you now can become the wholesaler. You now have a plethora of properties. It'll analyze them, give you your max allowable offer, know how to buy, estimated rehabs, it does all that. But this right here, when you get a deal brought to you through some form, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a Zillow that's expired, maybe it's a wholesaler. I don't care where you get the deal. The very first or the very next thing you do is you dump it into my digital mind, and it's not a hard prompt. Scroll back up to your prompt, Nick.
this
Yeah, that one's fine. So right,
is the one. Yeah.
yeah. So they're real simple. I want you guys to look at this. I'm gonna read it out loud. I want you guys to look at this. What is the MAO, max allowable offer, to purchase this deal if we think it's around 60 to 70 in rehab? Yeah, yeah. And this one we didn't upload. So this is a different property.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the other one.
There's the other one. We might be able to buy it at 215, 230, and it gave the address. That's all he did. Share with my AI, my digital mind, what you know. Don't shortcut it and don't embellish it. Share what you know, just as if you were talking to me, and you have to know something. And then look at in 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So this is the other property of Fred's, right?
This was the no, this is the guy. Yeah, Zach.
Oh, this is Dax. This is Dax.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And all that. And it went through and it in great detail. And here's what I love. It gave comps. It pulled one, two, three, four, five comps so that it shows you where it got its numbers. You can start cross-checking that. If you have questions, well, I think this deal's worth more. Well, here's the comps. Let's look at them. Let's compare them. And trust me, your wholesalers, your realtors are going to tell you a property's worth more, especially if they've got it listed, because they have told somebody else it's worth more. Don't trust it. Trust my numbers. And because it's my, here's the deal, my numbers are going to be the absolute worst case scenario. If I'm low on an ARV and the numbers work and you sell it for more, ladies and gentlemen, you just hit the jackpot. If you get a deal and my ARV is low, 10, 15, 20,000, and it all works, and you take it and you run with it and you follow my guidance and instruction, and you're happy, happen to sell it for more, you just pocket another 8, 10, 12,000 dollars. There's no harm in that. That's a great bonus. But
Where,
go ahead.
I got a question.
Sure.
Where on there would it say where you would make the deal, where the
Right
deal
there.
would make sense?
Yep. So right
This is
here,
back to his,
this one's back to his.
Yeah. this is
So
back
right
to
here, scroll down, scroll down.
full budget.
Yeah, full budget, best case scenario, right here. Where's our purchase
So,
price?
Here.
Yeah,
This is
right there. There's your MAO, max allowable offer. Okay,
Got
max
it.
allowable offer, 137,250. Okay, or 141 or 152 based upon the other variables. So it's telling you if this, then this. If this, then this. It spells it out for you. Okay.
This one even.
I want you to utilize these tools. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to
Oh, absolutely.
emphasize this greatly for all of you. There are old school ways that some of you have been doing things. You're struggling. You're frustrated. We went to great lengths, and I'm telling you, because I'm in this space, because I'm right here beside you with you 100% of the way, I understand your frustrations. I hear your struggles. We went to great lengths and built these tools to make your life easy. But if you don't use them, I can't help that. Okay? Digital mind onboarding help. Surrender, yes. Remember Surrender, we did that. But Jay will get with you. Jay, get with Surrender too, okay, buddy?
I got it.
And here's what I also understand. Most of you are used to using a shovel to dig a ditch, okay? But I bring this really high-end ditch witch, a trencher to you, and you don't know how to use it. You're nervous. You're kind of concerned. It may take me longer, but I can dig a ditch and I'm not going to lose a foot. But if I just showed you and we worked together on the ditch witch, the trencher, holy cow, we can dig miles and miles of trenches and barely break a sweat. That's the life you want. That's the life I promised you. That's the life I'll give you if you allow me. But you got to use the tools I bring to the table. Okay?
Me being a lender, said the guy that he's wholesaling it to wanted 10 G's. Me as a lender is kind of like a broker chain. We don't want that.
Yep.
Just like you said, you don't want a wholesale kind of thing, broker chain, if you will.
Yep.
The lender limits how much that the
Yep.
wholesaler can make, and if that guy's taking 10, that might be the limit. So there's no
Yep.
room for him to make money. So I would ask that wholesaler he's talking to, his buyer, who they're getting the loan through, and what's the limitations on how much they will allow the wholesalers
Yes.
to make, because that may not be a deal at all, because that guy's taking 10, and that might be the limit.
Right, and it might be a limit. You're right. I didn't even think about that. I'm glad we have Michael on this call because Michael is also a lender, and I forgot about that. I'm surprised Rochelle didn't chime in. She's probably busy putting out fires, but that's correct.
And you're bringing fire, by the way. Love everything you're doing with the tools and all that, man. You guys just don't know, man. It's like he's literally like Moses parting the Red Sea. So just listen to what he's telling you. Use the tools, and your life will be so much easier.
I'm telling you,
There you go.
we're trying to transform your life, and to do that, you gotta follow instruction. But Michael's correct. So when you're doing daisy chains, so the word he was looking for is daisy chains. Whether it's broker bringing a broker to us as a lender, There's a daisy chain in there. We don't like that because it can be manipulated. When you have a wholesaler to a wholesaler to a seller, to a buyer, that's another, like you said, you could be number one, you're eating up a lot of equity. Number one, you're eating up a lot of equity. And number two, there may be a cap. Usually, I can't remember, Michelle, was it 10 or 20% or 20,000, whichever came first?
It's 10% cap on your assignment fees.
Yeah. So if you exceed that, then you just shot yourself in the foot. So, but here's what so Fred asked the question. I don't like wholesalers. That's not correct across the board. We don't like doing loans with wholesalers that manipulate bad numbers. We have had, when we first started in 2015, wholesalers were coming out of the woodwork. It was a just just a
When it really
waterfall.
started taking off, they
It
were
was just
charging.
unbelievable of wholesalers jumping in. And here's what they would do. And this is what I'm going to coach you not to do, because I never want that label with the unshakable investor. But here's what wholesalers would do is this deal that Fred's looking at. They'd say, oh, the ARV is this, but the rehab is only this. And so the numbers work. Look at, I'm showing you the numbers work. And most new investors took them at their word, took it as the gospel truth. And then they would bring us the loan and would say, the numbers don't work. Well, my wholesaler said it did. I mean, here's all the documentation. We understand. But I'm telling you, as a lender, when I'm going to pour my money into this project, I'm going to lose my money because you can't rehab it for that small amount. And there's no way on God's green earth you're going to sell it for that amount. So we got a problem. And what was heartbreaking is that the buyer now owns that property, or they lose their 5,000 or 7,500 non-refundable deposit. This is where I would get pissed. In fact, we got to where we just stopped doing. If somebody said I got this from a wholesaler, we would say, well, we probably can't help you as a lender, and we turned down deals. But there are some really, really good wholesalers out there that are very legit with high integrity, and you all need to be a part of that category. When you're running your numbers, make sure they're conservative and they're valid. So my ARV may be on that. So the wholesaler said it's 315 ARV. We were at 280, 285, 290 max. The scope of work we said was 80, 70.
With the contingency is like 80.
80, 85. See, that's conservative. That's worst case rehab. Bottom line ARV. We know where our purchase price needs to be at. If those numbers work and you can wholesale that and make $8, $10, $12,000 for an investor still to make money, you're going to have integrity. And those investors are going to come to you every time saying, hey, that deal worked. I made a killing on it. Let's go. And now you've got a buyer's list. So run your numbers conservatively. And if the investor can sell it for 305, 307, and you told him 290, dude, he just made an extra 20 grand and he's going to love you to death. Okay. And it doesn't matter to you. You make your 10, 12, whatever you want to make, but just know that they're going to make money so that they can come back and do another deal with you.
Ran all of them through Toby AI and got some pretty promising feedback on each of them. The MAOs on all three were only slightly less than what the asking price is. So that tells me that maybe there's a chance we could get one or more of them under contract. Anyway, the first one, the one on South Oakley Avenue in Columbus. If you looked at the Zillow pictures, you can see that the house is boarded up. And yet in the listing description, it says it really only needs light cosmetic work. It doesn't need like a total interior rebuild or anything like that.
How did you get this deal? Where did you find this deal?
I actually asked Toby AI to give me a list of distressed properties in the Columbus area.
Damn, Tim, I love you,
As
brother. Love you.
simple as that. Now they're all on Zillow, so I mean,
That's
if somebody
okay.
looked on Zillow, they'd find the same ones. But I focused on looking for listings that had distressed signals in them.
Okay.
So, and this one basically just came out as
Market for a while.
needs repair.
So it's been on market for 22 days, 95 reviews or 95 views. Okay. So we found this property also on apartments.com. If you can see here. Well, now it's boarded up though.
Now, the current owner bought the property less than a year ago for 119,000, and now he's decided he doesn't want it anymore, so he's trying to sell it for 120. And the
Okay.
MAO that Toby gave me was 104, which isn't that much below what they're asking. So I
good.
mean, I think if we made an offer, now again they paid 119 for it, but you know, if we offered the MAO, they're going to lose some money, but
And so have you talked to the seller?
not yet. No.
Okay. So if he bought it, rehabbed it, he did an amazing job. I want you guys to look at these pictures. So can you just go just so you can't? Okay. He did a great job in the bathroom. The flooring looks amazing. The paint is neutral. He did a great job. So we'll go back now. So this is what it looked like when he bought it and rehabbed it. Right here. Okay. Now show me the other one where the house was begin with. Yeah, there's the house that used to be there. And look at this building, this blue and red building beside it. Okay, that's a corner lot. Now look at what the most recent. It's all changed too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, somebody rehabbed that on that corner lot, but it's grown up also. So Tim, you might be able to grab both properties. And then we mow this lot in the middle in between so that your kids can have a place to play. Snakes, rats, all that doing. Yeah, the neighborhood looks pretty good. Okay. I was a little bit concerned on those previous, but it looks like they've cleaned this neighborhood up. So this could be a really good deal if you stay within the numbers. Now, you got to get inside because we have no idea how much physical damage is done to the house. So that would be, so my call to you, my advice to you, Tim, is get a hold of this owner, tell him you're extremely interested. I mean, use emotion. Man, I love this house. What do we got to do to see it? Let me walk it. Let me give you my bottom line or my top number and we'll rock and roll. That's my conversation to this seller. So that's something else I want to know, Tim. Is are they building in that vacant lot now? Or are they building another house there, which it looks like it, which increases value. So that's a positive. So get to how far is this house from you? This is in Columbus. This is right down the road, right?
Right.
Yep. So get a hold of the seller. Go tell him you got to see inside. If he tells you, dude, it's a disaster, I'm just going to tell you it was just annihilated. Then ask him, so is it a full gut redo? Other than plumbing and electrical, because he did all that. It's going to be what it would be considered as a heavy cosmetic. Sheetrock, paint, flooring, countertops, cabinets, all that. That's probably going to be close to it's a 1,200 square foot, probably close to 75,000 rehab. Just flooring, paint, appliances, rock and roll, that's 100% on. My concern is we got busted sheetrock. We got plumbing fixtures busted. We got light fixtures. We got more to do in there and we don't know if the windows are busted and that's why they're boarded up to keep the rain out. So we don't know what damage is done. So with worst case scenario, you're 75. It would be even higher if it was a full gut. When I say
Right.
full gut, electrical, plumbing, breaker box, HVAC, all that stuff. So I'm taking all that into consideration that those are still good. And all we're doing is heavily cosmetically repairing the property.
So if the MAO is 104, what would my first offer price be?
What's your ARV?
Ours?
155?
Oh gosh. Hold on. ARV is recommended working ARV is 212 500.
Too much. Okay. That's my digital mine.
Isn't that a 2 bedroom, 1
That's
bath?
Toby AI talking to me. Yeah.
Okay. That's what would come up 151. So I need to see what you are. So I want to go more detail with you on this one. I think we're closer to 170 on that.
That would be 119.
119. Okay. Then we're gonna back out. Let's just say conservatively, I'll split the middle with you. 60,000 rehab. 60 G's.
All right.
Yeah. So you're at 65,000 max allowable offer. If my numbers are accurate, if your numbers are accurate, we'll go. But here's the deal: we're guessing. We never guess, ladies and gentlemen. We're using this as a training. We never guess. So these numbers we're just spitballing with you to show you how to do what you need to do. But without actually seeing the inside, we have no idea. We don't know if every window's busted out or if he just put them up there for protection. We don't know what's done on the inside. Until we have that number, we are guessing. So I don't want anybody to take this as an absolute go or no go. All right.
And if you get in that one and you have the ability without bringing your rehab budget way up and can add the additional bathroom, that adds quite a bit of value in that area.
That would kick it
But
over closer to that 200 mark.
yes,
Yes.
it would get you like the 225 mark in that area.
Yeah. But with him having every window and every door boarded, I'm afraid they're busted out, and he did that to keep the water out from rain. And well, upstairs you can't get in upstairs, but the doors, yeah. Yeah. So that's the rats, birds, yeah. So squirrels, raccoons, possums, skunks. So we just need to see inside. But I would definitely, Tim, this is a great one for you to keep moving forward with. Okay.
684 Wiltshire Road in
Yep.
Columbus.
Yep.
That
Tell
is
me about it.
it came up on my list because it was a foreclosure property, but it
Yep.
was not an auction property. So
Okay.
I asked Toby AI if that meant that it was a bank owned, if the bank now owned the property. And Toby AI came back and said, yes, it appears to be a bank owned property, probably a bank owned, and
Mm-hmm.
I would be buying directly from the bank. And
Which is
but since
great.
it's listed with an agent, I'm going to go through the agent to make the offer to the bank. And it gave me a list of things that I should provide to prepare the offer. Submit a standard purchase contract. The listing agent forwards the offer to the bank manager, and the asset manager either accepts, rejects, or counters. And then at that point, we would negotiate. The asking price is 164.9, and when Toby calculated, he said the maximum allowable offer would be 130, which again for a bank-owned property, that's only 35,000 less than what they're asking. So that doesn't seem that unreasonable.
What did you calculate for rehab with the photos? There's 11 photos. What did it tell you for the rehab?
Well, again, I let Toby do the math there.
Yeah.
It estimated 40,000 in rehab. Asking 164 or 165, and there's 40,000 in rehab, then I would think the MAO would be lower than that. Oh no, because the ARV is higher. Hold on. They were saying the
250 on the
ARV
ARV.
was. Hold on.
My HVAC system's probably not what it considered. It doesn't.
They said the ARV was 240 to 500. So if you
Man,
take
Rochelle
70%
nailed
of
that
that
one.
and then subtract the 40,000 repairs, you come up with the 130 MAO.
Yeah, Rochelle, ARV that one at 244, so that's perfect. And my digital mind said 242. Great minds think alike, ladies and gentlemen. I think your rehab is going to be closer to 50-55, mainly because I don't know that my digital mind recognized that there's no HVAC system. It did say 55. Damn, no way.
What should you expect to pay if you're going to install central air in a house?
Oh, that's a great question. You're going to figure about $6,000 for a 2-ton complete install. That includes the compressor and all the ventilation. It's about $6,000 for a 2-ton. 1.5, you're gonna be about 4,500. You go bigger than the 2.5, you're gonna be closer to 10. And it's not the compressor that increases the price, it's the blower unit and all the ventilation. So the bigger the unit, the more areas it will cover, so the more vents you can put in, and that's your manual labor of material. So I rough guess everything. I start with a 2-ton because a 2-ton will handle about a little less than 2,000 square foot, right under, and then you go up or down from there. If it's a 2-story, which this one looks like it is, you're going to need 2 units. You're going to need a 2-ton for the first floor, 1.5 for the second. So you're probably going to be close to $8,000 total, 8,500 for HVAC system. That bathroom has to be completely redone. That is an insert on the walls. Those are just glued up there. Cabinetry cloth, all that's got to be redone. That's probably about 4,500 to 6,000. I don't know how big that area is, but the flooring looks okay. I can't. Is that wood or is that tile?
It's tile.
It is tile. It's ugly. Okay, so you're probably about 6,500 on that. But so my AI though will break all this down. But what I would recommend is you go back and say, hey, this does not have an HVAC system. Budget that in. It'll be back up to that $57,000. Okay. If you're
Okay.
at 245, let's just say ARV, if you could get this one at 120, there's room because you could wholesale this, make you 10, and everybody wins. Now,
If you're buying a house that doesn't have central air and you spend 6 to 8 thousand on central air, how much does that increase the value of the property?
well, it's assuming, so the ARV is assuming that you're putting HVAC in it. So it's not looking at it without it. It's comparing houses that are already has the HVAC and you're adding that to your scope of work. Because remember, we're bringing houses to today's standard. So
Right.
resold houses today should all have HVAC system in it. So that ARV is already predicting that you're putting that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, so yeah, you said 120 would be a good price if I can get it.
Yes.
And
120
that's
would be a
going
good price
through
to
the
get.
bank. That's buying it directly from the bank, through the
Directly from the
agent.
bank. Then we can either wholesale it. We
No,
got options. Also wanted a PSA. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell my digital mind that, hey, I've got a property here. Here's the property address. Here's my name as the buyer. Here's my LLC. Here's the bank's information as the seller. I need a professionally drafted purchase sale agreement to present to the bank on this offer. And here's my numbers.
I told you I asked Toby AI for a list of distressed properties in the Columbus area,
Yep.
and it gave me a list of probably about 10 to 12 properties. And this last one, 1121 East Livingston Avenue,
Yeah.
it said that this was the top rated, or this was the best one of the properties that it gave me.
Okay.
And so I looked at the pictures on Zillow of the property, and I didn't see any particular distress in the property. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's cosmetic work or something,
Yeah.
but I mean, it wasn't like gutted on the inside.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, trashed
Actually,
on the outside or anything. It looks
if
fairly
you look a
nice.
little closer,
So
you can see the
Yeah.
paint's peeling at the top in
Hold
some
on.
of those rooms, Toby.
Yeah.
If you look
Yeah.
over, and then if you look in the bathroom at the top, kind of near the toilet, it looks like they might have painted over like a mold. And there looks like there's a crack on one of the walls that they painted over, or it could just be a bad picture. But
Yeah.
um,
So Tim, this house, whoever did the rehab on this house did a crappy job. So go back to the kitchen. So we looked at this one earlier. When you sent this over, I pulled up. Go back to, we're gonna start at the beginning. So I'm gonna coach everybody on this house. Go and turn.
Hey, Toby, I noticed on the deck, you see that right there? That's
Yep.
peeling paint. This is before 1978, so that's lead. That's got to be encapsulated. That
Yep.
on the deck, on the top
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So that's
So-
that stuff that you got to repair
Look
because
at the floor.
That
Look at the
paint
floor, how buckled in, there's water, severe water damage
on
there,
that.
right
Yep.
there. Yeah,
There's a
on the
bunch on
floor.
that deck. Yep.
Yeah. So number one, you got structural damage there. Go ahead. Now let's start right here. Let's just forget about the god ugly blue wall. Okay. Let's forget about that. But look at this tile work. The tile work came past the counters and just stopped out there in no man's land. It's just floating. That is terrible. And yeah, and they didn't do it anywhere else. They just did it where the stove is. The cabinets are Home Depot cabinets. You have the brickwork over here on the left, which I don't know what that is underneath it. If they just did a filler, instead of removing that brick and doing something worthwhile, painting it at them and paint it blue, let it blend. I don't care. But then you got nothing at the bottom. So this is one side of the kitchen. Now go to the other side because this is where I really. Now look at, we got a microwave over here all by itself, hanging out all by itself. And then you got one more picture that really with the refrigerator. And then guess what, ladies and gentlemen, guess where the refrigerator is? Click. Boom. There's the refrigerator. This is, tell me what woman on here, raise your hand, what woman on here is falling in love with that kitchen? A woman on earth that's going to say, oh my God, honey, this is my dream kitchen. Move me in here now. And that's what we have to think about.
Well,
So,
there is one thing in there that I liked was that transom on the top, that window at the top, that transom window. Did you see that? One picture back, the other way.
oh
Yeah,
my
that.
God.
That's you don't see that very often. You know, people like-
1910. And that's over a walkway. That's not even a door. That's over a
Yeah.
walkway.
I mean, I like those finishes and stuff, but it's in the wrong spot.
So here again, zoom in. You can't zoom in. There again, the tile is floating out there in no man's land. It's terrible. Now, the only thing that I like thus far is the flooring. I like the color of the flooring. That's a good neutral color. Here's error number 2. We have a fireplace. That's right. I told you. That's right, with stove. So there's a pipe outside. So here's the fireplace. They bricked it in and painted it gray. Okay. Now look at the door over here on the left. You can see daylight around the door. Can you see that? Look at that daylight. You can see, and then they have a frame around the door. So now I'll go to the next picture. You see the paint's peeling here on the left. Paint's peeling. Look at the paint on the ceiling right up where the light fixes attaches to the ceiling. Stairwell. Go ahead. Then they didn't do anything on the stairs.
This
The
is a
stairs,
closet.
yeah, are rotted, chipped. Nothing done there. Handrail's terrible. Go ahead.
This is what they call the lipstick on it.
This is lipstick on a pig, and they did the wrong color lipstick for him. Here's
Yeah, this
another
one's
chimney.
a closet, I think, because it's got closet rails.
That's your closets, which should have been framed in.
Yeah.
Remove that mantle, frame all that in. They bricked it in. So go ahead. Yeah, that's an ironing board
Oh.
or a baby changing station. Who knows? Ironing board, I think. There's your bathroom. Got to be redone. Go ahead. Yeah, this is a Carol Trimble house.
They love blue.
Yes, this is Carol. This is Easter eggs. Look how bad the paint is on the top, and that's got crow's feet texture on the ceiling.
And you see that other wall, it looks like there's a crack that ran all the way down it that they painted over.
Yeah, yeah,
Looks like that looks like.
yeah. And there's another mantle. So they want to know why they can't sell it for 189,000. Is there any question? And ARV is 280. They think they're $100,000 below market, so it should sell overnight. How many views did we have on this one?
They started at 299 too.
They started at 299.
I mean, excuse me, 199. Excuse me, wrong.
All right. So this has been on the market for 171 days. 471 people have looked at it, and here's another great lesson. Yeah, in the description it says it's updated. So the AI read that, assuming, like humans do, that it's okay and it just needs to be fresh and carpet, paint, appliances, which is going to be your $25,000-$30,000 quickie. You have to upload the photos. So if it read the description and made the assumption that it was currently rehabbed and all you need is cosmetic, carpet, paint, appliances, 30,000 is right. But it didn't know what you knew, so therefore it could not discern.
Right. Okay.
All right. So I can't
Well,
scold my child because my child only did what you told it to do.
based on the information that I fed Toby, um, the current asking price was 189.9. It estimated the ARV to be 275 to 295, so they said use 285.
Okay.
Estimated repairs was 30 to 45, so use 35. And the maximum allowable offer was 165 based on all of that. So,
Well, yeah,
which again is only 25,000 less than what they're asking. So
right. But
it's
we're
not
going
a
to give you,
drastic, although, but based on what you're saying, it's going to be lower than that.
it's going to be a lot lower because we're getting ready to tell you here in 2 seconds what that rehab looks like. No, but I just want to tell him. Yeah. Yes. It's going to take it a minute or two. It's going to review it. But now that's where we have to make sure we have absolute information. Um, your ARV is correct. We're at 280, 285. I'm good with. Um, we're probably before my digital mind comes back. I'm gonna say we are 95,000 on rehab. I think that's gonna be low, but I'm gonna say 95,000 on rehab.
If they did that suck job of a update on it, they probably didn't mess with the mechanicals. I would have a real hard look at the mechanicals as well.
Yeah, they will.
Just if you see this shoddy work, they probably didn't do
Mhm.
jack SHIT with
Yeah.
the mechanicals.
So we're at 105 max allowable offer. On the back of the napkin, we're gonna see what my digital mind says.
Hey,
Yeah,
Doctor.
Dr. Potter,
Yes.
I gotta say, you was pretty on the money about that 1910. According to my resources over here, the property was built in 1915.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm spitballing shit that I don't even know that I'm spitballing. My digital mind came back and said your max allowable offer is 105.
So I didn't upload all,
Yeah,
which they should.
right.
And so I just uploaded the ones I could get really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was saying that it was not an absolute cost, but poorly finished prior renovation.
Yeah, which we discussed. Scope of work.
This is you.
Blue paint is ugly. See, that's why this is how you know this is my brain and not just some computer, because it speaks the same way I do. It literally said blue paint is ugly. Yeah,
As far as
what to keep. Yeah, LVT is fine. I think the LVT is fine. Unless it was warped, because we know the porch was warped, but the foundation may be solid. It looked good. Yeah. Yeah, so Michael brought up the asbestos on the paint. We gotta be careful about that. There's all your detailed line item,
So
54,000. I think that's low.
there's also against Columbus's 15%.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so cost of living may be a little cheaper down there. Okay, that may be the variable that I missed. So with that, but we're still, even with that, we're still at a 105 max allowable offer.
Well, and then like it also was saying like what we don't have.
Yeah, the roof. So see, there's your HVAC, which I built in the HVAC. Yeah. I believe that the HVAC need to be done. So there's 11 to the 55, puts you at 66. Sewer lateral, we don't know about.
So that's what it was saying.
Yep.
ARV.
ARV 225.
It was saying was I think lower than what you were saying.
Yeah, we said 280. Yeah.
I didn't have it.
Yeah, so we had it very conservative. So you probably 105 to 1. And then here's the deal, Timmy. You get this one at 105. You can wholesale it at 115, 117. You make money, everybody makes money.
Okay. That sounds good.
And your AI did come back and say get all the mechanicals too, because it was
Yeah,
probably
just like you said, Michael.
it
Yep.
said not. It looked like it was probably knobbing too, because it said like up 7 to 12,000 or whatever on the electrical. So it could be old knob and tube or something.
That's correct. That's correct. So
Even though it was badly done,
mhm.
nobody even is buying it in this state for 180.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Toby, who do you have? I mean, because you have people that are doing this remotely. One, two, you have people that are new at doing this. Who do you recommend? A GC or like a home inspector? And the other thing is, I had this happen before where the person who was giving it as a wholesale and Sandy that's in here now, she was the end buyer. The guy said it was a 2-2 when it was actually, he said it was a 3-2. It was actually a 2-2. The other thing that I was saying is, so to make sure that your person goes out there, does the correct bedroom count. But I don't see attics here, but in the basements, do you look for opportunities to do forced appreciation to see if like if it has a proper ceiling height, ingress, egress, so you can. So if it's like a 2-2 and now it's a hidden gem, and it's like finished with the air conditioning and stuff going to it, you put a door on it, and then now it's a 3-2 instead of a 2-2. So are you looking at having people look at that to see if you can do forced?
Absolutely.
On it?
Absolutely. So if we were, if Tim was going to take this as a fix and flip, we would go down that road. But I don't want him, because number one, Tim doesn't have a contractor, so he doesn't have experience in that. So we wouldn't. Our goal right now is to find him the gems that he can wholesale to an experienced person. Let them do that. But I want him to be able to present to them all the facts so that they can't rebut it. When you go in with the facts, with absolution, and you stand your ground, they're like, yeah, you're right. And when they know you're right, they know they can't bluff you. Okay? This is the unshakable investor culture that you need to understand. We know what we're doing. We have absolute facts. Here's my data. Take it or leave it, because I got 10 other people lined up for this property. I'm giving you first right of refusal. Take it or leave it. I'm moving down the door. And they're like, all right, you're right. Yeah. When you don't know, and they start bringing things to your attention, oh, you didn't say this, you didn't present that, you didn't talk about this. Like, well, so here's the deal now, Tim. I'll take this off your hands at 95,000. You're like, crap, I paid 105. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? See, and he got a heck of a deal because you weren't solid. When you're solid, when you can present absolute facts like a bulldog, they take it and they run because they believe you know what you're doing. They've done the research and they know it's still a good deal. Back to your question. If the MAO was 125, where does Tim buy it at? Whatever profits you want to make. You're 125. The MAO is the number to your buyer. Okay? Does everybody understand that? If you're wholesaling the deal, the MAO is assuming you're the investor who's going to flip it. When you're the wholesaler, you're now the guy that's got to make the profit. So you then have to back that down. So if it's me and 125 is my MAO, then I'm going to buy it around 110 to 112. Okay? That gives me a little bit of money. Maybe even 115 max, probably not. That's probably going to be my walkaway number is 115. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to offer it at 110, 112. If the seller then takes it, then I know I've got at least $10,000 profit because I'm going to sell it at 125. I could then, if I had to, I could still sell it at 122, still make $7,000. But that's your spread. So what do you want to make on the deal? That's where you come in on your offer, not the MAO that my digital mind told you. You got to then go down one more step.
And who was it in
Right.
your group that said it was the 10% for the lender to allow?
Yeah, Rochelle said for now that's on for
On the
wholesale.
lending side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But you can do a simultaneous closing and you remove that. You don't have an assignment fee. So you can do a simultaneous closing and it doesn't matter. It's only when you have assignment fees that's going to come into factor. So I'm going to buy it at 112. I'm going to sell it to you, Michael, at 125. You're going to close at 125. I'm going to close at 112, and I'm going to scrape the $13,000 profit. Our next mastermind is every Thursday, 4:30. So 8 a.m. Mondays, Central Standard, 4:30 Thursday, Central Standard. Use my digital mind to guide, direct, inform, and educate, and let you know where you stand so that you are the most informed person about the property. You need to know more than the seller, or at least equally two. Have a safe, today is Thursday, have a safe weekend. We will see you all Monday morning bright and early. Get after it. Let's go. It's time to start making some money. Let's go. That's what you joined. That's
Let's
what you
go.
signed up for. It's time to do it. Okay? Have a good one.